Welcome to this explainer on Florida's school transportation system. Every single day, thousands of yellow buses are out there navigating everything from endless quiet rural routes to absolutely chaotic suburban traffic, all to get students safely to their desks. But, from the outside looking in, this massive logistical machine can seem pretty complex. So let's just break down those district policies and turn them into your practical survival guide.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Busing basics and eligibility, 2. Safety at the stop, 3. Rules on the bus, 4. Florida weather and delays, and 5. The parent action plan.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Busing Basics and Eligibility. Okay, so right off the bat, here is your golden rule. The absolute most reliable source for information is always your local school district's transportation department. Florida's huge, right? Both geographically and administratively. Because school transportation policies are usually set locally, things like exact schedules, eligibility rules, and bus stop procedures can drastically differ from one district to another. Honestly, even within the exact same county, routes change year to year based on enrollment and staffing. So while we're covering the statewide standards today, remember that the ultimate authority on your kid's specific commute is your local team. Do not rely on last year's bus plan, especially if you've recently moved.
Now, this brings up a massive assumption that a lot of families make when they move to a new district. You might be wondering, does every single student automatically get a guaranteed seat on a bus just by enrolling in the school?
Well, actually, no. Districts have to prioritize who gets a seat based on strict logistics like capacity, distance, and specific educational needs. Generally speaking, districts prioritize students who live beyond a certain distance from the school. They also prioritize students with disabilities who require transportation as part of their educational plan, and kids attending special programs, like certain magnet or charter schools that actually include transportation support. If you live super close to the school, or if your child is using a specific school choice option, figuring out transportation might be entirely up to you.
Now, for students with disabilities, this often goes way beyond just catching the neighborhood bus. Specialized transportation is formally outlined in an Individualized Education Plan, or IEP. This may mean a specialized bus, a totally different pickup location, or extra assistance boarding. But a really crucial takeaway from the source material here is that parents shouldn't just assume this happens on autopilot. These individualized arrangements require proper documentation and approval, and they can take some time to set up or adjust. You really have to communicate closely with school and district staff to get these specific supports in place.
Moving right along to Section 2, Safety at the Stop.
So there's often a pretty stark contrast between our expectations and reality here. We expect the bus to arrive at exactly 7:14 a.m. But the reality? Well, anyone who has ever driven in Florida traffic knows that pickup times are estimates, not guarantees. Traffic, road construction, unexpected route changes, all of these can totally throw off arrival times. The source material stresses that families really must plan for a small time window rather than an exact minute. If a bus is running late, districts usually ask that parents wait a reasonable amount of time before calling the transportation office in a panic.
And because those pickup times fluctuate, waiting actually requires focus. Arriving a few minutes early is just non-negotiable. You've got to stand safely away from traffic and definitely keep the phones and headphones put away, especially when crossing streets. And finally, younger children should absolutely be supervised, particularly if you're in an area with busy roads, limited sidewalks, or poor lighting.
The ultimate safety rule here is remarkably simple. Patience saves lives. Never ever run toward a moving bus. Students have to wait until the bus has fully stopped, the driver has signaled that it's safe, and all crossing instructions have been given. If a child has to cross the street, they must do it strictly under the driver's direction and only after checking for traffic themselves. It's a simple rule, sure, but reinforcing it with your kids is absolutely vital.
All right, let's talk about Section 3, Rules on the Bus.
The bus is basically considered an extension of the school day. That means these shared environment rules are totally non-negotiable. Staying seated, keeping aisles completely clear, using indoor voices, and respecting others' space. And above all else, keeping hands and objects inside the bus and never distracting the driver. The driver's number one job is safely navigating a heavy vehicle through chaotic Florida traffic. They literally cannot do that if they're having to manage chaos in the rearview mirror.
Because safety is the ultimate priority, unsafe behavior has very real consequences. Repeated misconduct isn't just a quick trip to the principal's office. It can actually lead to a temporary or even long-term loss of bus privileges entirely. It is highly, highly recommended that parents review these expectations with their children well before the first day of school.
Up next is the wild card, Section 4,
Florida weather and delays. Florida weather is notoriously unpredictable. I mean, you can have beautiful sunshine one minute and a torrential downpour the exact next. Heavy rain, sudden lightning, or tropical systems can instantly disrupt schedules. A sudden afternoon lightning storm can literally halt a dismissal process in its tracks, drastically altering or delaying a route. In really severe situations, districts might delay school start times, reroute buses entirely away from flooded areas, or even cancel transportation completely if conditions are deemed unsafe.
When those skies turn dark, the safest choice is always to follow district guidance rather than just guessing. Don't assume the bus is running on time, but don't assume it's canceled either. Transportation decisions are made incredibly fast, especially concerning lightning or road hazards. You must stay tuned to your district official text messages, emails, or app alerts. Make sure your contact info is up to date with the school so you actually receive these vital notifications when storm season hits.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, the Parent Action Plan. Proactive communication prevents morning panic. To get your household organized, verify your address and your transportation eligibility with the district today. Seriously, go save their direct phone number in your phone right now. Review the rules with your child and lock in a bad weather backup plan. Getting this whole shebang done before the school year begins is going to reduce your stress immensely.
And a huge piece of that backup plan is teaching your child exactly what to do when things go off script. What happens if they miss the morning bus? What if they accidentally get off at the wrong stop? What if they're expecting you at the stop, but you get stuck in traffic? Having a clear, calm family routine established for these unexpected moments prevents panic and significantly improves your kids' safety.
School transportation in Florida is a massive, complex machine, but it absolutely works when families and districts collaborate. So ask yourself, is your family truly ready for the commute? And more importantly, how can your preparation today help ensure a safer ride for every student in your community tomorrow?